Okay, we want to solve some problems on trigonometry. Now, we are given the value of sine A to be 8 over 17 and A is given to be obtuse. What does that mean? An obtuse angle is an angle which is greater than 90 but less than 180. That is why A is falling within here in the second quadrant, where only sine is positive. Only sine is positive here. So others will be negative. Okay, that means definitely I can assign positive sign to this value because sine will be positive. Alright, we have to find cos A and tan A. How do we find that without using tables? By going through one of these identities. If you have been following my episodes, I have already proven all these identities. Now, which of them is applicable? It is this one, because it contains sine, which is given. That means I will record that identity. Sine square of A plus cosine square of A will give me 1. Since I'm dealing with A, so I cannot use theta. Now, I will replace sine A with 8 over 17. And because of this square, it becomes 8 over 17 then all squared because of this square. Remember, sine square of A means sine A all in what? In bracket raised to power 2. That is the meaning. Okay. Plus cosine square of A equals to 1. Alright. Having done that, what's the next thing? The square will be used. 8 raised to power 2 is 16. I'm sorry, 64. 8 raised to power 2 means 8 times 8, 64. And 17 square means 289 when you square it. So, plus cosine square of A equals to 1. By flipping this one to the other side, it becomes minus. That means cosine square of A will be 1 minus 64 over 289. Cosine square of A, if you subtract this fraction from 1, it will give you 225 over 289. So you now remove the square here by taking the square root of the other side. So cosine of A will be plus or negative or positive value of square root of what? 225 over 289. And that means that what? That cosine of A will be positive or negative. Square root of 225 is 15 over square root of 289 is 17. But since A is obtuse and A is within the second quadrant where only sine is positive, that means cosine will be negative there. Therefore, I'm going to choose the negative sign as the answer. So this is our answer for cosine of what? A. Negative 15 over what? 17. Okay. To find the tangent of A now, I will use this identity. Tangent of A is sine of A over cosine of A. Why am I using it? Because I have known my cosine and I have known my what? I'm given sine. So that means all I will do is tangent of A will be, our sine of A is what? 8 over 17. 8 over 17 divided by, which is the division line. Cosine of A is negative 15 over 17. So what happens? According to your arithmetic, 8 over 17, this changes to multiplication and this one flips, that is reciprocate, that would be negative 17 over what? 15. 17 will cancel 17. So answer will be negative 8 over what? 15. That is the value of tan of A. Negative 8 over 15. Of course, it has to be negative because tangent will be negative here in this quadrant. This is another example question. If 180 degrees is less than B and B is less than 270 degrees, and we are given tan B to be 2.4, find sine B and cosine B. Let me interpret this one properly. This is an inequality. It means angle B is greater than 180 and that same B is less than 270. So where would that fall in the quadrant? In the fourth quadrant, it will fall here. Because here is between 180 and 270. And only tangent is positive there. Please take note of that. Only tangent is positive. So that means definitely this value I can put positive to it because only tangent can be positive. So that means tan B now, which is 2.4. Let me change it to fraction for easier access. That will be 24 over what? Over 10. And 24 over 10 is same thing as what? 12 over what? Over 5. By the time you cut. Okay. How do I find sine B and cos B? The only thing I can do is I have tan B, only tan B. That means I will go to the identities and check which one contains tan, which is this. So that means that is what I will use. So tan square B plus 1 will be equal to sec square what? B. Okay. Having done that, what is the next thing? I will substitute. 12 over 5 will replace tan B and the square will affect it. 12 over 5 all squared plus 1 is equal to secant square what? B. The shortened form of secant is sec. In my own pronunciation, please take note of that. Alright, by the time you square this will give you 144 because 12 raised to power 2 is 144. 5 raised to power 2 is 25 plus 1 equal to secant square B. So when you add this and this together, what do you get according to your calculation? Addition of 144 over 25 plus 1 will give us 169 over 25. So I want to remove the square here. That means I have to have square root here. Okay, that means secant of B will be plus or minus square root of 169 over 25. That means secant of B will be plus or minus square root of 169 is 13 and that of 25 is what? 5. But this is not our final answer because secant is not what we are looking for. We are looking for sine and cosine. So what do we do? In one of the previous episodes on this trigonometry, I gave you 6 trigonometric ratios. One of them says 1 over cosine of theta will give you secant theta. That means that definitely secant means the what? The reciprocal of what? Cosine. Therefore, it means that instead of using secant B here, I will use 1 over cosine B. So 1 over cosine B will be equal to plus or minus 13 over 5. But don't forget that B is obtuse and only tangent is what? Positive. I'm sorry, B is reflex because it's more than 180. Obtuse will be greater than 90 but less than 180. Please take note of that correction. B falls within 180 and 270, which is reflex because it's more than 180. And only tangent will be positive there. That means the value of cosine will be negative there. Therefore, I'm going to pick negative. So 1 over cosine of B will be negative 13 over 5. But 1 over cosine of B is not the same thing as cosine of B. So I need to turn this upside down and do same here. Therefore, cosine of B will be negative 5 over what? 13. Finally, to find sine B, I can use either this identity or this one. Why? Because I know tangent and I know cosine. I can find sine using this. If I want to use this, I know cosine, so I can find this. But I would prefer to use this one because it will not take time as this. This one involves squaring and also flipping the other side, then finding the square root. So, but this one is to cross multiply and you get your answer straight. So let's do this one. That means tan of B will be equal to sine of B over cosine of B. When you cross multiply, that means sine of B will be equal to tan of B times cosine what? B. And what's our tangent of B? The tan we are given, that is 2.4, right? And I change it to fraction, it becomes what? 12 over what? 5. Yes, tan B is 12 over 5 because 2.4 has been converted to fraction, which is 24 over 10. By cutting down, we got 12 over 5. That means 12 over 5 times cosine of B, which we just finished, negative what? 5 over what? 13. So by so doing, what happens? 5 cancels 5, then answer will be negative 12 over what? 13, because of this negative. And that's the end of that. If you appreciate this, please do not hesitate to subscribe to my YouTube channel for subsequent release. I am dealing with trigonometry. I have started from the grassroots. You can go back to all the previous episodes. You know how to update your knowledge. Make sure you don't jump any of the episodes because all of them are arranged in sequel. That means the next topic I am taking under trigonometry is the continuation of the previous one. So if you don't have the knowledge of the previous one, you will find the subsequent ones a bit difficult. Whereas it's not difficult if you follow it from the grassroots. So please go and click on my channel and check trigonometry right from episode 1. See you in the next episode. Thank you.